For more, let me bring in Matt Schlapp tonight, American Conservative Union Chairman and former political director for George W. Bush. Dean Obadalo is with us tonight, columnist for the Daily Beast. Gentlemen, a question to both of you, and Matt, you first. What difference does it make? The president yesterday in the Oval Office was clearly emotionally torn by the news that 4 United States Marines had been innocently gunned down at a recruiting center. And he's being picked apart for what he's not saying. Isn't that overboard, or do you agree with the criticism?
You know, I think it's unfair to almost act like this is a result of his policies, but I do think it is fair to say that after all of these occurrences we've had, Fort Hood, et cetera, that we ought to call it what it is. And the U.S. attorney came out today and said this was domestic terrorism investigation. He works for the President of the United States. Why can't the President of the United States use the same words? I think there's a feeling in the country, Ed, that if we can't name our foe, if we can't name our enemy, how can we fight him in every way we need to? And I think rhetoric and tone and words matter. And in this case, the president ought to be foursquare with these terrorists and with the international community, that we know that they're coming to get us and we're ready and we're going to take them on.
Dean, your response to that?
I think we know the enemy, Matt. It's called ISIS and al-Qaeda. There you go. Let's get them. I think it's pretty simple what we're at. We're not fighting radical Islam because there is no such thing as radical Islam. I know people will be angry with me. They'll write things about that. I've written about that for the Daily Beast. I've talked about it on other shows. There are radical Muslims. There are Muslim terrorists who commit things. There's only one Islam. Just like if someone attacks an abortion clinic, we don't call them a follower of radical Christianity. A radical Christian. I think that getting lost in the words is not as meaningful as the fact that in America, over 10,000 people are killed every year by gun violence. This man had a gun. Charlestown, the man had a gun. Your guest on earlier talking about Colorado. James Holmes killed 20 people, 12 people, wounded 70 others. They had a gun. Let's talk about that as well. You know, fighting radicals, extremists is important. Let's make it harder for them to get guns, regardless if they're a radical on the right, an anti-government radical, or an Islamic radical.
Well, Dean, is it too much to ask the president to identify what many Americans believe is a fight to the death, and that this is the nature of the war that we're facing now at home, it appears? Is that too much to ask of the president?
No, it's not. And I think he's doing it responsibly and accurately. And that's really the term. I mean, I had an opportunity to meet with President Obama a few months ago with other Muslim American leaders. We had this exact conversation. His goal was to be accurate, not to be politically correct. I think if President Obama thought that radical Islam was the right term, we'd be hearing that. But we have a war on ISIS. We're bombing ISIS. We're taking al-Qaeda.
But why didn't he say we're in a fight with radicalized Muslims? He doesn't say that either.
Well,
Did he say something else?
Matt, let me answer that. I'm not so sure this was the place to do that. I mean, I think the president has got the he's got the bully pulpit, but at the time that he was commenting to the media yesterday, he was thinking about those 4 American soldiers and their families and asking for prayer. I mean, there's a million places the president could choose to jump in and identify what you think this conflict is.
But how about today, after the U.S. attorney said that this is an investigation on domestic terrorism? I think now that person works for the president. I think now it's time for the president to say that's what this investigation is all about. Now, look, if the facts come out different, that's why you have an investigation. But the president, time and time again, this is not the only time that he has shied away from accurately describing what this is. And let me hit this gun question head on. The one gun control conservatives will agree with liberals on is radicalized Muslims, if that's the term you want to use, radicalized members of Islam should not be carrying semi-automatic weapons, because if they intend to do harm to our country, they shouldn't have those weapons. So it's a ridiculous argument that this is about gun control. They are crucifying Christians. They are crucifying Christians. They are drowning Christians. They are beheading people all over the globe.
It's horrific.
It doesn't matter the type of weapon.
But we're talking about in America. In the United States, over 10,000 people murdered last year by gun violence. What is the religion of the people who pull that trigger? You're going to tell me they're Muslim? They're not. You know they're not.
This is not about... You are missing it. You are missing it completely. This is not about gun violence. This is about radical Islamic terrorism. And all of the tweets and the posts and the actions that happen overseas, they tell us every day, we are going to take the great Satan on. We are coming for you.
I want to ask both of you, what role, if any, does the Muslim community play in the healing process in Tennessee? Dean, your thoughts?
I think down there, I mean, I already spoke to one leader down there. They're having an interfaith event tonight. They're mourning together, Christians, Jews, Muslims, people of all different faiths, for the Marines. You know, the Muslim community in Tennessee has condemned it. Muslims across the country have condemned it. You know, our thoughts and prayers are with the 4 Marines who lost their lives and their families right now. So that's where the healing can come from. We're all Americans. We're all in this together. ISIS would kill me as quickly as a Marine, even maybe more so because I'm a Muslim and I'm critical of ISIS.
And Matt, this criticism that the president is facing, if I may, do you think that talk like this stirs up a political base against the president? Or do you think most Americans really believe he needs to go a step further?
You know, Ed, I'll just speak for myself. All I want him to do is on these basic questions of national security is speak up and be bold, because I'm afraid that overseas, these crazy people that want to do us harm don't fear us as much as they should. And I just want him to be clear. On these issues, let's throw partisanship away. Let's stand up for America and let's protect ourselves. And my Lord, let's protect our Marines.
You think the president is not standing up for America?
No, but I want us to be as bold as we possibly can. Can't we all do this together?
Well, I think we can. Matt Schlapp, Dean Obeidallah, good to have both of you with us tonight. Appreciate the conversation. Thanks so much.